welcome you to the southern part of heaven. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, UNC trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Larry Fedora hoping his team has answers on the defensive side of the ball. Meanwhile, Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech try to bounce back from their first loss of the season. The last time these two teams played here at Kenan Stadium, it was the highest scoring game in the history of ACC football. Georgia Tech winning 68-50. The ACC Coastal, it's in chaos once again. Duke beat Virginia earlier today, which means Georgia Tech is now part of a quartet of teams at 2-1 in league play. North Carolina at 0-2 in conference, still just one game back in the loss column. Good evening, Anish Shroff alongside former first-round pick Kelly Stauffer. North Carolina still very much in the division race in the Coastal, but for the Tar Heels to have a second-half turnaround like they did last season, they've got to get it right on defense. Yeah, and even in the loss last week against Notre Dame, UNC coach Larry Fedora found some hope in that. They played well really on both sides of the ball. A little better defensively. They have a huge task ahead of them today. Look at those numbers. There isn't anything good in that graphic right there you can hang your hat on if you're defensive-minded North Carolina. They have a huge task ahead of them today. The option that they're going to be facing against the play caller, head coach for Georgia Tech, Paul Johnson, is a great in-game adjuster. And what his option offense does is it makes you be assignment sound. UNC defensively has anything but that this year. Let's go down to the field and the third member of our crew, Kara Capuano.
Thanks, Anish. Guys, one aspect to watch in tonight's game, the contrast in offensive pace. Georgia Tech averages a methodical 29 seconds of possession per play, the most patient pace in the ACC. North Carolina averages 19 seconds, quickest in conference, third fastest in the nation. Georgia Tech head coach Paul Johnson telling us the goal against an up-tempo offense forced them into 3 and outs. That brings the opponent's defense back to the field on short rest. Defensive fatigue only half the concern for North Carolina's Larry Fedora. He also mentioned the mental drain on his offense if they have to sit and watch from the sidelines while the Yellowjackets grind out a sustained drive. Which rhythm will prevail?
Thank you, Carol. When Georgia Tech's offense is clicking, it is psychological warfare on the opponent. The Yellowjackets won the toss. They will defer, so North Carolina will receive the opening kick. Harrison Butker to kick it off for Georgia Tech. And that'll go out of the end zone as TJ Thorpe watches it sail by, and North Carolina will have the ball first. The Heels have been one of the most disappointing teams in college football. They opened the year in the preseason top 25, won their first 2 games, and then lost 4 in a row. 3 of those losses to teams that entered this week in the AP top 25. And during that 4-game losing streak, the defense has been awful. They've given up 70, 50 twice, and 34 to Virginia Tech. Marquise Williams coming off one of the best games by a quarterback in ACC history. The quarterback for UNC, and Williams making plays with his feet. Throws incomplete, intended for Jack Tapp. Kelly, last week, Williams 300 yards passing, 100+ on the ground. He also caught a touchdown. He was outstanding in a near win for UNC against Notre Dame. Yeah, and you add everything that he does into the up-tempo approach that they do here at UNC, and it makes it a tough matchup if he's seeing things clearly. Bubble screen to Switzer, and Ryan Switzer to the outside, driven out by Damon Smith, about 2 yards shy of the first down. So 3rd and 2, and these early drives are important for North Carolina. As you heard from Kara's report, Georgia Tech wants a few 3 and outs to get this rhythm offense off the field. And UNC has to be efficient, but possessing the ball would certainly help their defense as this game goes along. 5-man rush. Williams has time, too high. Intended receiver Quinshot Davis, and he was covered by DJ White. So 4th down coming up. Tommy Hibbert on to punt it away. And watch out for number 6 in white for Georgia Tech, Chris Milton. 5 blocked kicks since the start of last season. And special teams may play a big role tonight.
In games that can be high-scoring games and defenses are challenged, special teams sometimes can flip the field.
Hibbert gets this one off. Jamal Golden retreats to his 25-yard line. Golden, a dangerous return man. No real estate, and he's dropped back at the 20-yard line. So we get our first look at this Georgia Tech offense led by sophomore Justin Thomas. He leads the team in passing and rushing. Thomas last week against Duke hurt his ankle in the first half. Didn't come out of the game until the fourth quarter, but Paul Johnson says he's good to go.
Yeah, and he's really tailor-made for what Paul Johnson likes to do offensively. He's a former 100-meter champion, so he has a lot of explosiveness in him, but running the option, both the triple option and the double option, are right in his wheelhouse.
Thomas will open up with a pass over the middle, open receiver. That's Dion Hill across midfield, and Hill still on his feet before he goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A 47-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage for Tech.
And when the defense spends all week getting geared up for the option, what do? They take their eyes off of their read keys, and this is what happens. Dion Hill ends up unabated into that secondary, and that's the tough assignment. Is the play action off of the run game is absolutely lethal when things are rolling for Georgia Tech.
Thomas pump fakes, and down he goes. Sacked by Junior Nankande. It's a loss of 2 and 2nd and 12. And for UNC, you can get Georgia Tech into 2nd and longs and 3rd and longs, passing downs. You've got a chance against this offense.
Yeah, the order of the day is prevent explosives, but you have to get this offense behind schedule, and that's what they are right now. 2nd and 12 is not exactly the wheelhouse of Georgia Tech offensively.
Perkins and Zenon, the A-backs. They flank the fullbacks, Lasky. And now Thomas, the late pitch. He's got Perkins on the perimeter. And Perkins trying to dive for extra yards, and they'll mark him out inside the 5-yard line. Brian Walker pushed him out.
And this is the triple option. It's the dive inside, quarterback gets to the edge, and then it's the pitch to Perkins. 3 different options. Fullback, do they have that assignment down? Yes. Quarterback takes it to the edge. Do they take the quarterback? Yes. And then they get it to the edge with number 21, Charles Perkins. Very difficult, and that's their medium passing game right there.
Vintage Georgia Tech drive, 6 minutes plus. This is the 12th play. They give this to Lasky, and he's in for a Georgia Tech touchdown.
Prototypical Georgia Tech drive, Anish. Possess the football and then pay it off with the fullback. And Lasky knows how to pay it off. It makes it so difficult, and he actually does a very nice job of securing that ball. That wasn't seated into his belly very well by Justin Thomas, but Lasky does that quite well. Finishing drives in the red zone.
4th rushing touchdown for Lasky, the senior from Peachtree City, Georgia. Extra point by Harrison Butker is good, and Georgia Tech strikes first. Now first it was the triple option. Perkins giving Georgia Tech a 1st and goal situation, and then the big boy Lasky right up the middle for 6. A Zach Lasky touchdown run has given Georgia Tech a 7-0 lead. The Yellowjackets getting those points off of a North Carolina turnover. TJ Thorpe and Brian Walker back deep for UNC. Thorpe from his own end zone. Thorpe across the 20-yard line, and he tumbles to the 24. Well, TJ Logan just got the call on 1st down, picked up 5. On 2nd and 5, back to Logan. He finds a seam, runs into the referee who impeded his progress a little. And Logan finally brought down by the safety, Isaiah Johnson, a gain of 14. Seth Littrell, who's in charge of the North Carolina offense, told us he's looking for a running back to be his lead guy. Williams over the middle, receiver open, and that's caught at midfield. Catch made by Quinshaw Davis, a gain of 7.
And you really see UNC's desire to go up tempo, and this is really when they're at their best. Be able to go up tempo by extending plays.
Screen pass to Switzer. He takes a big hit as he gets across the 45. Brought down by Quayshawn Neely, Georgia Tech's most experienced player on defense.
This really thins out a defense when you spread it out anyway formationally, but then they go up tempo, and UNC is about as fast as any offense in the country.
Williams, quarterback draw across the 30, and he's brought down at the 26-yard line by Neely, a gain of 5.
Yeah, the play calling is just all about how do we get Williams in space, use his creativity and his spontaneity, and that's a very good call right there. The quarterback draw early in this game.
Here's Logan again, follows his blockers, gets across the 20, and gets a Tar Heel first down. TJ Logan, 5 carries, 42 yards. In his previous 3 games, he had 8 carries for 21 yards.
And the play caller, Seth Luttrell, told us that the running backs have to create more on their own, and right now Logan is getting that done.
Georgia Tech, that time, crowded the box, and there's no room for Logan. The true freshman, Keyshawn Freeman, who Georgia Tech is really high on making the stop.
Yeah, Freeman is trying to take over for those production numbers that Atauchu they lost when he graduated, and that's tough sledding, tough shoes to fill, but they need more production out of the defensive line of scrimmage for Georgia Tech.
One high safety look for Tech. Williams throws over the middle, good pass in traffic, and that's another first down. Bug Howard makes the catch, a gain of 13.
Howard does a really nice job, Anisha, sliding into that next window. It was a tight window to begin with, but Howard slid just a little bit more and gave Williams the target.
Another screen pass. That's caught. And a touchdown for North Carolina. Bug Howard again.
The speed in which this play comes made it difficult for Georgia Tech to get lined up properly defensively. You can see the safety, Jamal Golden, was coming from the inside, and that's not the way you want to attack that now screen to the edge.
A 13-play, 76-yard drive, capped by an 8-yard touchdown pass from Marquise Williams to Jonathan Bug Howard.
The best thing that North Carolina does offensively, get Williams in space, but up-tempo is really their calling card.
Tell you what, when a guy has a nickname Bug, you think he's a little guy, but Howard is 6'4", and the one thing this North Carolina receiving corps has is size. An injury. And early on, you look at the numbers, time of possession even. Everything except for plays pretty much even so far, both teams with a turnover as well.
They get to it differently, but both offenses have the opportunity to score a lot of points here this evening.
Roderick Snoddy from his own 1-yard line. Snoddy with terrific speed across the 20, and then dragged out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Thomas on the triple option. Late pitch, it's there. And Charles Perkins picks up a first down. And as we mentioned earlier, Perkins, every time he touches the ball, is good for about 10, 11 yards.
And this is the key right here. This defender, if he crashes down on the fullback, that's when Thomas extends it to the edge. Defensive end inside, Thomas goes to the edge. They take him. He continues outside with the pitch. That's the true triple option. And with Thomas running this offense, it's about a third of what Paul Johnson calls offensively.
And that was Deion Hill rather than Charles Perkins. First down for the Yellowjackets. Thomas to throw. Fires near side. That's caught by DeAndre Smelter. Good for a first down for the Yellowjackets. Smelter came to Georgia Tech on a baseball scholarship. Big-time pitcher out of high school, and he's become a big part of this receiving game.
Yeah, 6'3", over 220 pounds. Watch Thomas actually call Smelter back right there. That was good stuff. It became kind of an impromptu play, and right there Smelter sees his quarterback work back to the line of scrimmage. That's textbook in how to bail your quarterback out late in that pass play.
We have played one quarter here in Chapel Hill. Georgia Tech in North Carolina, all tied up at 7. The Yellowjackets driving in UNC territory. A pivotal game in what is shaping up once again to be a wide open ACC Coastal Division. Georgia Tech, one of 4 teams at 2-1 in conference. Nobody's undefeated in the Coastal in league play. Meanwhile, North Carolina looking for its first ACC win of the season. Larry Fedora told us yesterday, yeah, they're 0-2, but they still have a chance to win this thing, and they're only a game back in the loss column. 1st and 10, Georgia Tech. And Zach Lasky drags the tackler all the way to the 40-yard line, a gain of 9, brought down by Malik Simmons.
And Lasky is kind of the temperature taker. They keep going back to that fullback to make sure the defense hasn't forgot about him, because we always have to remember in this triple option, double option approach, it's establish the fullback and expand things to the edges.
Georgia Tech averages more than 290 yards per game on the ground. That's top 10 nationally. We'll give it to Lasky, rather Perkins around the edge. Yeah, the UNC defense fooled, and Perkins takes it inside the 30-yard line all the way to the 25.
This is a very nice job of UNC jumping down on the fullback, and quarterback rightly pulls it and goes to the edge. The quick pressure, and then it's the pitch. Can UNC defend all 3 areas? Fullback, up the middle in the A gap, quarterback to the edge, and then the pitch man clear out on the perimeter. Very tough assignment.
Zanin in motion. This is Lasky, and he's got nowhere to go. Junior Nankande led the charge for UNC, only a yard.
And what Paul Johnson will do is, Nankande, what position does he play? He's a defensive end. He's the one that had Lasky, so then they'll target that. How do we adjust? How do we change our blocking? If our fullback's taken away, then the next time Nankande jumps down on the fullback, we take it to the perimeter with the quarterback running the alley and their pitch man outside of him.
8th play of the drive. Lasky on the give, plows across the middle, and he's about 1.5 yards shy of the first down marker. 3rd and short.
When you said it, 3rd and short, once again, Georgia Tech is in their wheelhouse just to keep it driving.
Last year, this offense sputtered at times with Vad Lee at quarterback. He was not the ideal fit for Paul Johnson's system. Justin Thomas has been terrific so far. On 3rd down, Thomas will try to keep it, and North Carolina's defense may have made a stand here. It looks like Georgia Tech will be marked just shy of the yellow line. It's going to be close.
And I don't think Paul Johnson will hesitate to go for it if indeed they are short. 6 out of 7 on the year. And that's kind of his MO. Keep the field goal kicker off the field and get down into that really manageable down and distance, whether it's 3rd and short or 4th and short, and just try to convert.
Zach Lasky only 4 carries for negative yards in his career.
Not a bad guy to give it to.
Here's the pitch. Touchdown, Georgia Tech, but there is a flag.
False start, offense, number 75. 5 yards, 4th down.
The left tackle, Aaron Joe, jumped, and now Paul Johnson may have to rethink this.
And Aaron Joe got a little jumpy because he was the point of attack. He had a difficult block outside. Look at all the pressure up in the middle. Paul Johnson understands that, and then it's the toss sweep outside. And you can see 75 Aaron Joe just flinches a little bit early, and when you're 313 pounds, a flinch is a pretty decent movement.
So Harrison Butker on for the field goal attempt.
Those little plays like that allow UNC to stay in games like this. When Georgia Tech is not taking advantage of things in the red zone and or turn the ball over, UNC has an open door.
This is a 27-yarder for Butker, who's 6 of 10 on the season. Butker splits the uprights. So a penalty on 4th and 1. Georgia Tech has to settle for 3. And Paul Johnson letting Joe have it. Larry Fedora and this much maligned UNC defense. That last possession, a small but needed victory.
Oh, I think that's a really huge victory, to be honest with you. Anytime you can keep Georgia Tech out of the end zone in the red zone, that's good stuff.
There's TJ Thorpe. And Thorpe across the 20 to the 21-yard line. TJ Logan on 1st down, cuts it back to the middle, and it dropped to the 25-yard line. Logan up to 45 yards. North Carolina has only had one 100-yard rushing game by a running back since Giovanni Bernard left school.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. And they got the running game going last week. They were able to keep it going because they had the lead against Notre Dame. That's actually the template to win here tonight as well.
You saw the graphic, no run for more than 19 yards this season. That's Austin Prohl. His dad, you know pretty well, Ricky Prohl, played for a long time in the NFL and was an outstanding possession receiver.
Yeah, someone like Prohl is, and Prohl had some room to run there out in the edge and just couldn't pick up his feet.
On 3rd down, Williams, that's caught by Switzer right at the 1st down marker.
And we will see UNC go fast once again. Switzer converts, a very accurate throw to convert by Williams. And Williams is really a rhythm kind of flow guy, especially in the pass game. If he gets off to a quick start, sometimes he has really, really good games.
3-man rush. Williams downfield for Switzer. He has the DB beat, and there goes Ryan Switzer all the way to the house, and the Tar Heels take the lead. Seth Luttrell told us yesterday, Ryan Switzer is still developing as a wide receiver. He's not there yet, but Switzer, 4 catches, 88 yards, 68 on that play.
Tremendous return, guys. So if you can get him in space, he has the maneuverability and the speed to make plays like that. He got on the safety, Corey Griffin, and made him pay for it.
Extra point is good, and North Carolina responds with a haymaker. Williams to Switzer, 68 yards for 6. Jamal Golden, the deep man, he took a kickback against North Carolina 2 years ago here. Let's go back to the TD.
Well, Switzer is right here, and he's going to run a route and get onto this safety, Griffin. Go ahead and let it go, guys. And watch the move at the top. That move outside forces this corner to jump all over it. And that's all Switzer needs to slice him up inside, and then the big play. Well designed, but that was a very good route and a well-thrown ball in the end by Williams.
Switzer has had some big plays this season. 75-yard touchdown against Clemson. That one good for 68. Justin Thomas to the air underneath. Pulaski sheds 1 tackler, and he's dropped at the 30-yard line by Brian Walker. It's a gain of 5.
The epicenter of this offense is Lasky. They'll establish the run up the middle in the A and B gaps with him, and then the screen game right there. The fake pitch, what they're trying to do is invite that secondary down in their run defense, and then they throw the screen outside.
Snoddy in motion. They give this to Lasky, and he's up the gut, and he's got a Yellowjackets 1st down, a gain of 6. Thomas, he's got a big arm too. Downfield for Smelter, who can't haul it in with one hand. Let's go down to the field and Kara.
That big arm we just saw there, Anish, I was reminded of when North Carolina's defensive coordinator Vic Koenig told us about Thomas, how underrated he is as a passer. But what Paul Johnson told us about Justin Thomas, he just needs to continue to learn within this offense. You can't force anything. You've got to stay within your game. They spend a lot of time correcting and reviewing, and they've done it in-game as well. I've been watching them.
4 for 6, 89 yards so far. Thomas options to his left, nowhere to go, and he goes down. That was good defense, and Junior Nonconde has had a terrific first half for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, playing that defensive end position, and this is one of the change-ups. Nonconde does a very good job of getting off the polar right there. The offensive lineman that was leading around uses his hands well and then makes the play outside. That wasn't happening in the first quarter. That's a nice play.
3rd and 10, and this is where this Tar Heel defense wants Georgia Tech. Here's the blitz. Thomas chased, gets away from one defender. Otis giving chase. Thomas heaves it downfield and out of bounds. And a big hold by this UNC defense, which has played much better in this first half than in the last 4 games.
And the key in all of that, Anish, was the 3rd and long situation. When they know it's a passing down, and then Vic Koenig can dial up a little pressure, and Rashad doesn't get him, but he forces Thomas outside the pocket, and that's a good decision right there. That play was DOA, and Thomas should have thrown that ball away.
The dangerous Ryan Switzer back deep for North Carolina. He returned 5 punts for touchdowns last year, tying an NCAA record. He's only averaging 3 yards a return this year. But remember last season, he did all his damage in the second half, and that one is shanked by Rodwell. North Carolina with a 4-point lead. They'll have it at their own 35-yard line, only a 19-yard punt. Larry Fedora has never had a losing season as a head coach. Last year, his Tar Heels started 1-5, but then finished the season 6-1, and UNC capped the year by winning its bowl game. Chris Francis in motion. Marquise Williams will keep it on first down, and he's across the 40-yard line. Tackled at the 42 by Tyler Marcordes.
And a quarterback design run, running the power actually. The running back leads up inside to the opposite side, and Williams really has a knack. He's an efficient runner as a quarterback. Not only a viable runner from that position, but he's very efficient at getting every yard out of those plays.
Williams, quarterback draw across midfield into Georgia Tech territory, and Marquise Williams with a first down. He's got 34 yards rushing here in the first half.
A great enhancement to that run game, and very well blocked. Caleb Peterson, number 70, from his left guard position, got up there to that second level. But Williams is a sneaky good runner.
Williams, the team's leading rusher and leading passer, floats this one over the middle. That's caught. And another first down for UNC, a gain of 21. It's TJ Thorpe, the junior from Durham.
When you run it successfully, you play action pass and throw behind those linebackers that are trying to get up and stop that run. That's very well done, but it's predicated on the run game working well to begin with.
Austin Prohl in the slot, top of your screen. Georgia Tech showing blitz. Bubble screen to Prohl. And he's driven out of bounds by DJ White. Marquise Williams last week was named the ACC Offensive Back of the Week for his performance against Notre Dame. Just the 4th player in conference history with 300+ yards passing and 100+ on the ground in the same game.
So you don't always have to go fast. Just the threat of going fast also has an effect on that defense.
Georgia Tech crowding the box. Here's Logan. TJ Logan gets maybe a yard, tackled by DeMond Smith.
That's UNC's zone stretch play where they really want to get it to the perimeter. Pretty well defended that time by Georgia Tech. You just have to stretch it to the sideline. When the back plants his foot and gets upfield, you have to have multiple hats there.
Williams flushed, throws near sideline, caught by Switzer, slips one tackle, and Switzer in for his second touchdown of the game.
Well, it starts with great protection up front. Look at Williams go through his progression. He literally went all the way from the right to the left and comes back to Switzer all the way on the edge. You can't do that without good protection, but nonetheless, that was really good decision-making by Williams.
The extra point by Weiler is good. Marquise Williams picking up where he left off last week. 12 out of 16, $174 through the air, and 3 touchdowns. Kevin Weidel from Scouts Inc. with us. Kevin, what have you seen with the way Marquise Williams is running this Carolina offense? You know, earlier in the season, Larry Fedora was rotating in his backup quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, and Fedora said he didn't think it affected Williams' rhythm. But last week, Trubisky wasn't part of that quarterback rotation, and Marquise Williams has his best game. We haven't seen Trubisky for a series today. He came in for one play when Williams had to come out after hitting his head against one of his linemen. But I think not having Trubisky come in for a series or two, that's helped Williams stay in rhythm.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you can do that. You can rotate quarterbacks in and those kind of things. But when you have a quarterback like Williams that's more of a has to see it well and a rhythm type of thrower, you have to let him play the game. And I think that's what they saw at Notre Dame a week ago, and Williams by far had his best game of the year.
Williams 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and caught a touchdown from Quinshon Davis in the loss to the Irish. Perkins in motion. Thomas fakes the toss. Steps up, throws downfield for Waller. Incomplete, a lot of contact, and no penalty. M.J. Stewart, the freshman from Arlington, Virginia, on the coverage.
And that was great coverage because it's a mismatch physically. You can see Waller trying to use his size, 6'5", 240-plus pounds, but M.J. Stewart, the true freshman, does a nice job of withstanding that physicality by the receiver, and I think he played it just right. Big receivers for Georgia Tech. Remember, they have to block the option on the perimeter, but they're great targets down the field.
Thomas saw the option. Here's Perkins. Perkins speeds across the 35, and he's to the 36, a gain of 11. A first down for the Ramblin' Wreck.
Keithus Otis getting outside from his bandit position, which is really a hybrid linebacker slash defensive end position, and you have to be able to defend the fullback, but then those interior defenders really have to chase well to the edge with the quarterback and then on out to the pitch. That's very difficult to do.
Georgia Tech still taking its time. They've got 2 timeouts as we come up on 2 minutes to play in the half. Thomas downfield, receiver open. It's Snoddy, he can fly, but Snoddy a little off balance and falls down at the 31.
Snoddy, the running back, is outside wide, and what you're going to have is there's no defender looking at the receiver that's going to arc release, and number 9 is the closest defender, Travis Hughes. That's tough to handle. But Snoddy just releases to the outside, and the defender has his eyes in the wrong place.
Yeah, that ball a little underthrown as well. Thomas, quarterback draw. Gets the outside, gets the first down, and scampers out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. It's a gain of 19 yards, and Georgia Tech in business.
And the quarterback draw with a former high school 100-meter champion looks pretty good. You can see it well. Thompson, there wasn't anything really well blocked at the point of attack, but it's the vision to the backside and the speed to get there.
Justin Thomas, 5 out of 9, 122 yards through the air. 29 yards on the ground. Thomas fakes the toss, steps up, under pressure, throws for the end zone. Touchdown, Tony Zenon. Well, you know, this Yellowjacket offense can go quickly, too. 5 plays, 75 yards, and a $125.
There was a lot of moving parts on that play. The fake toss, and they're actually trying to get Lasky out into the flat. And then it's improvising by the quarterback, and he finds Zenon in the end zone. But that route initially by Zenon was not figured into the play.
Butker on for the extra point. And he drills it. Carolina's defense in that first half, they did give up some yards, 279 of them. So they made a couple of big stops. They forced Georgia Tech to punt once. On 4th and 1, they were aided by a Yellowjackets penalty that forced Georgia Tech to settle for a field goal instead of going for it. Let's go down to Kara.
After that early interception, 3 straight scoring drives for the Tar Heels offense. How can they sustain the momentum they created there?
Well, we just, you know, when we're not doing it, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. It's things that we're doing against ourselves. We had a holding call. We threw the interception early. Then we started moving and started doing some good things. We just have to keep doing what we do. That's all. Everybody's got to do their job, and we'll be fine.
What about on defense? What adjustments do you want to see that unit make?
Well, we just got to get off the field. I mean, we're making some really good plays, and then we've given up a couple third and longs that we can't do.
Thanks, Coach. Anish?
North Carolina with its first halftime lead since week 1 against Liberty. Time now for the college football halftime report. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. North Carolina leading Georgia Tech 21-17 after 30 minutes of play here at Kenan Stadium. Anish, Rob, Kelly, Stauffer, Kara Capuano. Critical game in what's shaping up to be a wide open Coastal Division once again. If Georgia Tech can win, all of a sudden you can stay in that group of one-loss teams. North Carolina not out of it by any means, but if the Tar Heels were to lose this game, then all of a sudden you're not thinking about just winning this division. You're thinking about maybe just trying to get to a bowl game. So a big 30 minutes coming up for both these teams.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In North Carolina, let's cut to the chase. They have to win this game, right? I mean, they have to. And Georgia Tech, like you said, the one-loss logjam at the top of the conference standings, they have to have this as well. So it'll be interesting. A lot to be decided in this next 30 minutes.
UNC will kick to start the second half. And Jamal Golden, who's averaging more than 30 yards per return, the deep man for the Yellowjackets. And Golden won't have a chance. Nick Weiler's been very good about kicking it out of the end zone. Thomas steps back. Downfield, Smelter wide open. But Thomas a little off target.
Well, Anish, all kidding aside, Aaron Joe was in because Brian Chamberlain, 53, was injured. He's been in this game, and he's in the game currently. But Aaron Joe is not in the game, and we'll see if he gets out of the doghouse here in the second half.
Yeah, Chamberlain did not play last week against Duke due to an ankle injury. Did start tonight. Thomas on the option. Cuts it back to the middle. And it appears he is picked up. A Yellowjacket first down.
And this is the triple option. Watch the fullback inside. You get hesitation out of the defensive end, number 8, Otis, and then the quarterback takes it to the edge. And in this case, nobody takes the quarterback, so it was a pretty easy decision. Just get as much green grass as you can.
Thomas has gone over the 600-yard mark in rushing in this game. That's for the season, of course. Thomas, that time with nowhere to go. And he falls back at the 45-yard line, a loss of 2. Justin Thomason, part of the ambush.
And this is the change-up defensively, as you have the defensive end steps inside, which leaves the big defensive tackle actually angling out, and he catches the quarterback Thomas by surprise. So that's the adjustment that a defense has to make. It isn't always the defensive end that has the fullback, or vice versa. In that case, the defensive end and defensive tackle actually switched assignments.
Hill in motion. Thomas to throw. Wants Waller, who makes the catch, and he's gone. Touchdown, Georgia Tech, 55 yards. Thomas to Darren Waller.
Yeah, Sam Smiley is the safety that just takes a horrific angle. If you're going to make a play on the ball, you can see number 3, Sam Smiley, coming over. You have to get to the football. You have to make that decision, or you just cover the receiver. And Smiley did neither in this particular case. Mistimed the jump, bad angle, results in a huge play with Waller taking it into the end zone.
Second touchdown of the season for Waller. Harrison Butker's extra point is good. And the seesaw game continues. Paul Johnson wanted to score on the first drive of the second half. He got it in a big way. Thomas to Waller, 55 yards. Last week, Paul Johnson was irked by comments that Duke head coach David Cutcliffe made. Cutcliffe said, if you're a receiver, why would you want to go to Georgia Tech? But Paul Johnson has told us his pitch to wide receivers is, listen, if you come to Georgia Tech, you're not going to catch 80 balls a year. You might catch 30, but you might average about 25 yards a catch, and you'll have a chance to make some big plays.
Yeah, and about a third of them might be touchdowns. You're exactly right. And you can see in the season that Waller is definitely a big play guy. Almost 23 yards a pop and a couple of touchdowns. But that was just misplayed in the secondary by UNC. And that's the type of play that UNC has been giving up most of the year, that's driving Vic Koenig, the defensive play caller, absolutely bonkers. You have guys in the right place. They just don't execute what they're told to do.
4 of Georgia Tech's 7 completed passes have gone for at least 25 yards. Zone read, Marquise Williams. And he just gets a yard. We've got Kevin Weidel, our NFL draft analyst, in the booth with us. Kevin, Georgia Tech certainly has a pretty good track record of producing NFL wide receivers.
Calvin Johnson, Demarius Thomas. The big thing with those 2 receivers, Waller and Smelter, pre-draft process, combine, all-star game, going to have to show they can run the complete route tree.
Williams rolling out, finds Quinshad Davis, fighting for extra yards, and then finally taken down by Milton and Isaiah Johnson. Well, you mentioned Megatron and Demarius Thomas. Those guys have put up monster numbers in recent seasons. Quick screen. It's Prohl, tackled by DeMond Smith. Yeah, those 2 are pretty good.
They're pretty good, and they're pretty big. And Georgia Tech's receivers they have here are pretty big as well. 6'4", 240 plus in a couple of situations.
North Carolina's got big receivers as well. That time they keep it on the ground. And Romar Morris with a gain of 10. Tackled by Paul Davis, Georgia Tech's leading tackler.
And that's quintessential UNC. They like the quarterback zone read scheme. Good example of it there.
Off play action, Williams all day, checks down, Morris breaks a couple of tackles and then spun out of bounds by Keyshawn Freeman.
But you can feel the rhythm of this offense, right? And that's what we talked about really at the top. Not only is your quarterback a rhythm thrower, but this scheme is a rhythm offense. And they like to go up tempo, but in order to go up tempo, you really have to sustain drives.
7 straight completions now for Marquise Williams.
When he sees it well, he's comfortable, and his accuracy goes way up.
Zone read, this is Logan. Around the edge, vicious stiff arm on Davis. And Logan and Davis have a few words at the end of the play.
And Freeman, the defensive end, he's a true freshman, and he was really kind of caught in no man's land because of the long-held mesh right there. What is Freeman going to do, number 42, the defensive end? He doesn't know who has the football until way late. show of pressure right here. Usually an early show, they back out of that.
Here's the screen, Logan again, inside the 20, and TJ Logan making the defenders pay the price.
And Seth Luttrell told us, he's the offensive play caller for UNC, that running backs have to start making their own way more than they have. Get something on your own, and that's a good example of it by Logan.
Logan, a big-time recruit coming out of high school, one of the top players in the state, as Williams will tuck it and run. Williams with a seam, and a touchdown for North Carolina.
Landon Turner, 78, has a really good block. Watch him pancake him right there in the middle of your screen. That's a big body on a big body, but how about the awareness of number 12? That's all good stuff.
The extra point by Weiler is good. North Carolina back on top, and for Marquise Williams, he has now tied a school record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. That was his 13th career rushing touchdown, now tied with Ronald Curry for most in school history. The pendulum continues to swing from one side to the other. Georgia Tech scored on its opening drive of the second half. North Carolina answered with a touchdown of their own, and Marquise Williams on that drive, 7 for 7, and he ran for the go-ahead score. Third lead change of the night.
There's no defense against what Williams ended up doing to score that touchdown.
Here's Golden, and he won't run this one out. This game feels like whoever has the ball last is going to win this. And it just has that kind of feel to it. That was the last time these two played here. They played last year in Atlanta. Georgia Tech won 28-20, but that was the highest scoring game in the history of ACC football. Thomas options to his right. The pitch to Tony Zennin, who's got a receiving touchdown today. And he's trapped after a gain of 2. Des Lawrence, the team's leading tackler, along with Travis Hughes on the stop.
Defensive end once again jumping down inside is Rashad from that bandit position and forces a really quick decision by the quarterback to get to the edge, but that's really well done by UNC defensively.
Thomas options to the left. There's the pitch. Nothing doing there. Brian Walker devours Snotty in the backfield, and it's going to be 3rd down and long.
Brian Walker out from his corner position, fights through the block. And look at the bubble. When you get the quarterback bubbled off the line of scrimmage, then your support from inside out can get there. But that was a tremendous play by Brian Walker. Beat the block and then make the tackle for a loss. 3rd and 10 once again. UNC can live here defensively.
Here's the blitz. Thomas in trouble. He's got to get rid of it, and it's incomplete.
As they should do, the referee is behind the play looking at the official that's in the territory. And if there's an eligible receiver near that ball, which Deion Hill really was, he was running an over out from the opposite side. He was coming there. He wasn't close to it, but close enough to avoid an intentional grounding.
North Carolina looks like they're in punt block here. Ryan Switzer waiting at his own 37, 5 punt return touchdowns last season. And Switzer signals for a fair catch, and he makes it at the 34-yard line. A 42-yard punt, no return. North Carolina with the lead and the ball. You notice a lot of pink on the field here at Kenan Stadium. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and North Carolina doing its part. You see the line at the 20-yard line, also pink. Pink trim on the Carolina lettering in the end zone. Tar Heels supporting a wonderful cause here in the month of October. Low snap. Williams gets Logan on the screen, He's tackled by Paul Davis after a gain of 3.
That was actually very well set up, but Paul Davis doesn't chase that down. That's going down the sideline.
You know, one thing we haven't touched on in great detail today, North Carolina healthier on that offensive line. Heck and Landon Turner, who usually play on that right side, they've made a big difference.
They really have, and a different comfort level for Williams at the quarterback position.
Here's Chris Francis, the sophomore from Durham. Gets out to the 45-yard line, tackled by Isaiah Johnson, the senior safety.
And when you get your big daddies up front, back, and Heck and Turner, those are the guys that make it go. They've been playing on the right side together, but right now Landon Turner isn't over there. But getting those guys back makes this offensive line something they were not consistently in the first half of the season.
UNC 5 out of 8 on third downs. Williams has some room to run, and he's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. He moves the chains for the Tar Heels.
So many defensive schemes account for everything except a quarterback that can make plays with his feet. And that's why we see the points we do in college football today, is because most offensive schemes are based around this guy making plays outside the pocket.
Here's Jack Tabb, the tight end. And Tabb down inside the 30-yard line. He's going to be close to another first down, and looks like he's going to get it.
When's the last time that Williams missed a pass?
He's completed 11 in a row.
I think they call that rhythm. Being in the zone as a quarterback is a great feeling, and right now he isn't even hesitating. Comfort level increases accuracy, and that's what you see out of Williams currently.
That last play, good enough for a first down. Here's Morris. Cuts back over the middle, met by a swarm of Yellowjackets after a gain of 4. Tyler Marcordes led the charge. 2nd and 6. You talk about possessions in this game. Larry Fedora said against Georgia Tech, you usually only expect 9. I believe this is North Carolina's 8th of the game, so UNC has been able to control tempo so far.
Yeah, that's a great point.
On the ground once more, and Morris has another North Carolina first down. Right now, this Georgia Tech defense has no answer.
Yeah, they're getting a good fit up front is UNC, and you can see right there the big guys are working hard. Center Lucas Crowley was all over the defensive lineman there. The play before, Ferranto was also getting a nice block.
Off play action, near side, Chris Francis hauls it in, and that's good for about 2. 2nd and 8. The officials measured that previous spot, good enough for a first down. Again, Elijah Hood not playing tonight. He was doubtful on the injury report. The coaches told us yesterday he's out with a knee injury. Toss to Morris. Gets a block on that right side, and Romar Morris run out of bounds at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, UNC.
Power football at its finest. Guard's going to pull. Running back's going to get out there as well, and then it's the quick toss, relocating one offensive lineman, one running back to the point of attack. They've run it well between the tackle box. Now they're getting to the perimeter also.
And already over their season average in terms of running the football. Here's Morris, and he plunges into the end zone for 6. Plays 66 yards, and that drive felt almost like a Georgia Tech drive in some ways.
And Morris has trouble hanging on to this ball. Very fortunate that there wasn't quick penetration, because he didn't have that ball until he was about 2 yards into that route or that run.
High snap, the kick is up. Weiler's extra point true, and UNC with a 2-score lead with 2:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. And positive signs for the Tar Heels offense. They've shown the ability to get some mileage out of their running backs finally.
Yeah, hang that on the offensive line, and also running backs that are making their own way, creating something out of nothing at times.
Kelly, Georgia Tech needs a counterpunch here. This is a team, we've seen them score quickly, and it's a little bit of a myth that if you get up on them, they can't come back. They can still burn you with big plays on the ground, certainly in the passing game. but this is not their comfort zone, being down 2 scores late in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's exactly where they don't want to be with that option offense. But you're right, still plenty of time, plenty early to keep that option offense alive and well.
Here's Golden. He finally gets a chance, and he's tripped up across the 15-yard line. North Carolina has been outstanding this season on kick coverage. St. John Days in motion. He gets it on the pitch. Days charges ahead across the 20 to the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 6. Georgia Tech has watched as North Carolina has scored on 5 of its last 6 possessions. Both teams had an early turnover, none since. On 2nd down and 4, Thomas options to Broderick Snoddy, and the track star Snoddy picks up a 1st down. He's across the 30-yard line.
And even though Georgia Tech doesn't go fast, Anish, they too are a rhythm offense. The option game, whether it be a double option or the triple option, is all about rhythm. Rhythm of the offensive line in conjunction with whoever the running backs are that are carrying the football. Right now, they're in pretty good rhythm.
Snoddy in motion. And Snoddy on the toss, gets a block from Perkins, and Snoddy scampers out of bounds along that far sideline. It's a gain of 8.
Every time you see the ball go to the perimeter, like you did right there with Snoddy, defensive linemen for UNC have to run that play down. And in the 4th quarter, against schemes like Georgia Tech, UNC's defense can easily get worn out.
Here's Zenon. He gets a block. Zenon dives ahead for a 1st down. The Yellowjackets continue to move the chains, gain of 7. To your point, Kelly, the defensive staff for North Carolina told us fatigue has been a problem late in games.
Exactly.
This is a UNC offense that will sometimes run 80, 90 plays per game. And there's been times when North Carolina, you go back to the ECU game, they were on the field for almost 100 plays. They get worn down. They don't have the depth. Thomas flips it to Zenon on the option, and it's Zenon to the 46-yard line. Give him 5. Malik Simmons on the stop.
And that was the triple option that went to the perimeter, but those previous 2 plays that Paul Johnson called were quick tosses to the outside, and that's to make that interior defense for UNC pursue the football outside, because you're right, there's not a lot of depth on that defensive line of scrimmage, and they get worn out, along with Jeff Schottmer gets worn down as well from that linebacker position.
And Georgia Tech will not get a play off before the end of the 3rd quarter. We have been witness to 800 yards of total offense through 45 minutes. The final 15 in regulation after the break. On 2nd down, Justin Thomas downfield. He's got Smelter. Makes the catch. Smelter with a lane to the end zone. And Georgia Tech strikes on the 1st play of the 4th quarter.
When your eyes get in the wrong place against the triple option, this is exactly what happens. The secondary is looking into the backfield, the play action fake pitch, and then that's where the big-bodied Smelter comes into play. 6'3", 222, goes up and fights for that football, and that's what taxes a defense. They make you play sound assignment football, play in and play out, and North Carolina did not execute well on that one.
Butker's point after is good. A 46-yard strike from Justin Thomas to the former Georgia Tech baseball player, DeAndre Smelter. That's a home run for the Yellowjackets. DeAndre Smelter, number 15 in white, came to Georgia Tech as a baseball player. Had to give up baseball. He was a pitcher, had shoulder injuries. His 2nd year on the football team, He's been terrific for Paul Johnson and the Jackets.
And defending the option is about keeping your eyes right. Out of the two safeties, you can see those guys step up, and then Smelter's just going to get in behind them. Just that little hesitation in the step up by number 7, Tim Scott, creates enough room, and then the help isn't there over the top.
Onside kick by Georgia Tech. A field judge looked to have signaled that North Carolina had it. Now they're trying to sort through the scrum. Georgia Tech saying they have it, but North Carolina recovered the onside kick. So the Yellowjackets tried to catch everybody sleeping.
And it was pretty well executed. It has to go 10 yards before the kicking team can touch it, and it went plenty. It went about 14, and I think the best opportunity to catch that ball was the kicker himself in Butker, and he couldn't quite corral it.
And now North Carolina working with a short field. Romar Morris on first down, and he's wrestled down by Adam Gotsis, the lone returning starter on this Yellowjacket D-line.
Paul Johnson really has to trust his defense in a situation like this. They have the momentum to go with the onside kick. When this is the downside, you give a really, really hot offense right now, UNC, the short field to work with.
On second down, Williams throws far side. That's caught. And Quinshad Davis tackled by DJ White. Making Bug Howard on the reception.
I believe that's the 13th straight pass completed to 10 different receivers. I mean, that is the flow that the quarterback needs to be in, and Williams is chief among them. Most of us that have thrown the ball like to be in rhythm and in the flow of the game, and Williams resembles that currently.
Here's the blitz. Williams tries to get loose. Paul Davis slowed him up, and Georgia Tech forces a fourth down.
Georgia Tech is not a big zero blitz team, which this is, which simply means you have man-to-man coverage across the board on the back end. High risk, but in this case, a huge reward.
It looks like they're going to go for it. You're kind of in no man's land here from the 36. Tech showing blitz again. Now Johnson backs off the line. Play clock to 10. Here comes Johnson on the safety blitz. Williams going deep for Hollins. Hollins makes the catch for a Carolina touchdown.
Anish, that was the same defensive call by Ted Roof right there, the zero blitz. You talked about Isaiah Johnson coming up the middle. Throw it to your 6'3" receiver and let him climb up and get it. Williams knows exactly what he has if he has the time to execute. Watch the pressure up inside. Williams does a nice job of getting the ball off. And then Hollins, 6'3". Climb and get it, big fella. That's good stuff right there.
4 touchdown passes for Williams. He's run for another as North Carolina has an 11-point lead. Golden took a kickback against the Heels 2 years ago on this field, but he falls short of the 30-yard line. Thomas on the option. Here's Snoddy. Broderick Snoddy finally tackled by Tim Scott, but not before Snoddy gets to the 42-yard line, a gain of 16.
And Anish, that's why Paul Johnson can gamble with the play action on first down. It leaves you second and long, but they're a really good second and long run team to either convert or get in third and manageable.
You know, I was going back to the onside kick.
That's a great point.
Right now, I don't think Georgia Tech has any confidence in its defense. That's why they went for the onside kick.
I think you're exactly right. That would be the only reason to do it right there in that situation.
UNC was showing blitz with Schottmer. There's Thomas on the option. It's juggled, and there's Drennan again to drop St. John Days back at the 36.
Anish, you talked about it. Schottmer is coming off the edge right here. And he does come and he forces a quick decision by the quarterback, Thomas. And then there's good coverage outside by Drennan. That's textbook of how you defend the option. Stuff the quarterback, make him make a very quick decision, and then rally to the pitch.
Drennan, the first freshman to start at D-end for UNC since 2010. Kareem Martin. On second and long, there's the option again. It's St. John Days, and he burrows ahead toward midfield for a nice run, a gain of 15, third and short.
There we see it again. The negative play on first down creates second and long, but it's not a panic situation for Georgia Tech and play caller head coach Paul Johnson. They're a very lethal team in that third and long or second and long run situation for them.
On third and short, Thomas again on the option. Again the pitch, and a first down for Georgia Tech. Charles Perkins on the run. On second down, Thomas fakes the pitch, keeps it, tripped up by Schottmer at the 35-yard line, and it's third down and 5, and this is almost assuredly four-down territory for Paul Johnson.
And it really smells like Latchkey, the fullback territory as well. We haven't seen him on this drive, and that's about the time Paul Johnson likes to dial up 37 Latchkey inside from that fullback position.
UNC with that rabbit package. There's the toss to Zenin across the 30. First down and more. Zenin drags Tim Scott all the way to the 14-yard line. A gain of 21 yards.
What UNC is doing defensively is they're walking their linebackers up into the A gaps to try to take that fullback away. That's why there's room out on the perimeter, and that quarterback to the edge and then out to the perimeter in that pitch game.
Georgia Tech 260 yards on the ground today. They average about 295. Up the middle, there's Lasky, the fullback, churning for yards, and he's into the end zone.
It's like a game of hide and seek. This is the first time we've seen Lasky in a while, and Paul Johnson hopes that UNC defense has forgotten about 37, and then you gash them right down Main Street.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those option runs to the outside, and then Lasky up the middle, and it appears Georgia Tech is going to try to go for two.
They're down by 5 after that touchdown. I think this is a very good call. Going down by 4, kicking an extra point doesn't do you any good.
Thomas on the option. He'll try to keep it. And he's stopped by North Carolina. Des Lawrence turned him back. One of these defenses is going to have to come up with a stop. A 5-point game, still plenty of time left in Chapel Hill. The last time Georgia Tech and North Carolina played in Chapel Hill, Tech won 68-50 in what was the highest scoring game in ACC history. I'm not sure if the scores are going to get to that level, but this has been a fun one. Two offenses going back and forth. And Justin Thomas, on that last 2-point conversion attempt, looked like may have dinged his hand a little bit. There's TJ Thorpe. Thorpe dropped shy of the 20-yard line. Screen pass, that's caught. Some space, and Logan bumped out of bounds by DJ White, but he gets close to midfield.
Sometimes offenses that go fast are simply better when they go fast, so it's hard to change the pace. A good catch by Logan and a good block out on the point by Tab.
This Georgia Tech defense right now reeling. They cannot find an answer. Williams trying to use the stiff arm, but it's the true freshman, Keyshawn Freeman, who drops him for a loss of a yard.
A lot of times on the defensive side, you're looking for that one play that puts the offense off schedule. And that was it right there. We'll see if Georgia Tech can make that funnel to a way to get off the field right here.
On 2nd and 11, screen pass, and Morris drops it. And now a critical 3rd and 11 coming up.
Gaddis, even though it's a screen, Gaddis, number 96, got some good quick pressure and enforced an errant throw. You can't throw the ball off target and off the body to to running backs or tight ends, and that wasn't a very good screen pass because of the pressure by Gaddis.
Seems to be some confusion on the Georgia Tech side.
I think they were going to go with pressure early, and they checked out of it.
4-man rush. Williams over the middle. That's caught by Morris, and he's tackled about 5 yards shy of the first down marker. So 4th down. Remember, on UNC's last drive, on 4th and about 5, North Carolina hit a big touchdown pass.
Yeah, and this is a slightly different, not only situation in the game, but also place on the field. I think you try to pin Georgia Tech deep right here with a punt and make them go the long field.
So that means North Carolina will have to rely on its defense. Tommy Hibbert gets it off. Fair catch, Jamal Golden. He'll make it at the 13-yard line. 5:24 to go in regulation. Georgia Tech down 5 and with the ball. Justin Thomas comes out for this Georgia Tech drive on a 2-point conversion on Tech's last drive. Thomas was seen holding his hand on the sideline afterwards. And remember, he suffered an ankle injury against Duke last week. Let's check in with Kara down on the field.
Well, guys, the training staff did evaluate that hand for a good amount of time, but as you see, he's back out there and ready to go.
Tim Byerly is the backup. He played in the 4th quarter last week. Thomas the pitch on 1st down. Stiff arm by Perkins, and he's out of bounds at the 21. A gain of 9 on 1st down. Georgia Tech down by 5, coming up on 5 minutes to play in regulation.
Sam Smiley, number 3, the safety, was in on that tackle, and that's exactly the way Georgia Tech will target defenders in the play-action passing game. Look for that coming up.
Shannon in motion. Hand off to the fullback, Lasky, and he gets 2 for a 1st down. You know, a play that happened early in this game that if Georgia Tech loses, Paul Johnson will remember. It was a 4th down and 1, and watch the right tackle there, Aaron Joe, he flinches. It negated a Georgia Tech touchdown. Paul Johnson let his linemen have it. The Yellowjackets had to settle for a field goal instead. If they get that touchdown, they probably don't go for 2. Could be a tie game right now. Thomas, the option. Smelter on the reverse. He gets a block from Waller, and DeAndre Smelter springs free down the sideline. Smelter gives Georgia Tech the lead.
Wow, the fans can't believe it either, but to defend the option, you have to be assignment sound. And Smelter started out wide right, takes the pitch, and he has a convoy out in front of him. That was very well set up and very well executed, and Smelter can take it to the house. Great design and a great time of an over-pursuing UNC defense to get caught out of position.
Georgia Tech will go for 2 to try to make it a 3-point game.
Remember, this isn't the starting fullback in there anymore, Lasky, so you'd expect the ball to go to the perimeter.
Smelter in motion. Thomas throws it up, broken up by Lawrence. And North Carolina will get the ball with 3:07 to go in regulation, and a field goal can potentially win it for the Tar Heels.
You have to get lathered up defensively to stop the run, and that's exactly what you see. All of those blue shirts pursuing the quarterback, you get him out of position, and then look at the convoy. That's about 1,000 pounds down the field leading Smelter. Very well to block. Half of those big uglies down the field didn't even have anyone to block. It was so well designed, and you don't like to see that. Lasky going into the tunnel right there, holding that tender right shoulder.
But North Carolina has scored a touchdown on 6 of its last 8 possessions. And UNC just needs a field goal. All 3 timeouts for the Tar Heels, 3:07 to go in regulation. And UNC will get it at its own 25-yard line. He's accounted for 5 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 4 through the air. Williams quarterback draw on first down, and Marquise Williams picks up about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. Williams 32 out of 40. With 1 more completion, he would tie the school record by most completions in a game by a UNC quarterback. Romar Morris dropped back at the 30-yard line. Sean Green, the defensive tackle from Grayson, Georgia, made the stop, and it's 3rd down. And Morris limps off the field. Chris Francis in at running back on a big 3rd and 4. Georgia Tech bringing the pressure. Williams throws it downfield. It's caught by Jack Tabb. He made the catch in front of Jamal Golden at the 45. It's a UNC first down.
Tabb's just going to the corner, and this is an average throw, but a tremendous above-average catch. That was about going and snatching the football with big hands, and Jack Tabb did just that.
And Williams has tied the school record for single-game completions. 4-man rush. Williams checks down to Francis. Makes 1-man miss into Georgia Tech territory, and he's going to be very close to a first down.
And whether it's a first down or not, Francis has to get out of bounds. It's about clock management right now. There wasn't a lot of yards left up inside. You have to step out of bounds.
2nd and 1, UNC with all 3 timeouts. Hollins dropped it on the screen, and that stops the clock with 90 seconds left in regulation. Something to remember, North Carolina's kicker, Nick Weiler, yes, he's 5 of 6 on the season. His long is just 23, and he's only attempted 1 kick from longer than 23. He missed from 32 last week. Back to Hollins on the screen, and Hollins to the 40. He's got a UNC first down. And that will momentarily stop the clock until the ball's respotted.
Exact same play as the one before. Hollins just does a nice job of catching this one and converting.
Williams again checks down. Here's Logan, and he wisely gets out of bounds inside the 40, a gain of 2.
Now Jake closing in on a minute 15 left, and all 3 timeouts, so there is plenty of time here. Now you want to make sure that you get in comfortable field goal range, if not in the end zone, but don't leave a lot of time on the clock.
Here's the blitz on 2nd down. Williams over the middle. Pulled in at the 30-yard line by Ryan Switzer. And Switzer having himself a career game. 9 catches, 136 yards.
And you talked about the blitz, and it was picked up extremely well and leaving that receiver wide open.
Here's the blitz again. North Carolina will run it. It's the quarterback. Williams still on his feet. He's to the 25-yard line. And the clock's still running. Coming up on 50 seconds to go, and Williams a little shaken up.
Williams blew a tire, I think. I think he lost his shoe, so yeah, that's a good time to call a timeout. And Marquise Williams makes a play out of nothing.
48 seconds to go, UNC with 2 timeouts. Georgia Tech brings pressure off the edge. Williams will run it up the middle. And he's not going to get very far, met by Quayshawn Neely.
They're going to be forced to burn a timeout here. I would think this is going to run a lot of time off the clock.
From here, it's about a 42-yard field goal. Larry Fedora electing not to call a timeout on 3rd and 4. Here's the pressure. Screen pass. There is a flag on the play. Morris inside the 10. Bumped out by Isaiah Johnson, but there is a flag all the way back at the 35-yard line.
I think this play is going to stand. I think number 40 right there, Paul Davis, put an extra lick on the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 40 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. First down.
And Paul Davis with an ill-timed penalty for Georgia Tech, and that was clear.
Yeah, he took a couple extra steps, plus it was high. I think both of those things would have been called a penalty right there.
All right, well, now this is comfortable field goal range. It's a handoff on the ground. Touchdown, North Carolina, T.J. Logan. The first touchdown of the season for T.J. Logan, the sophomore from Greensboro, and North Carolina retakes the lead with 11 seconds left. Williams will step up. Now he'll just try to run, and he's not going to get the two-point conversion. So Georgia Tech will get it back, down 5, 11 seconds to go in regulation. There's the go-ahead touchdown, T.J. Logan's first score of the season.
The run game tonight, because UNC has had the lead or been close to the lead in this game, they've been able to keep their run game on the table. That hasn't happened much this year. It happened last week against Notre Dame, and the result was a pretty good one. And I think Williams, the willingness to have him as a viable runner of the football from the quarterback position makes the defense defend with 11 hats, 11 fits in the run game, and that's a tremendously hard thing to do. And then, oh, by the way, they throw it really well also.
There's the squib kick, fielded at the 25-yard line, and that's Anthony Harrell. He'll just go down at the 30. So Georgia Tech has the ball with 3 timeouts and 9 seconds left here in regulation. 4 receiver look for the first time tonight. Thomas rolling to his right, heaves it downfield in traffic. It's tipped, and it's incomplete. There is still 1 second left.
Pass is incomplete.
I think it's a little things like that. To me, Thomas is obviously not getting it into the end zone, so run a play to pick up 15 or 20, and then he has an opportunity to get it all the way into the end zone on the second play.
Let's see if the ball hits the ground. It hits the foot of the player. Ooh. You got to believe Paul Johnson has something buried in that playbook for these situations.
Yeah, this is very difficult, but keep the play alive, and who knows what can happen.
It comes down to this. That's caught. No, it's incomplete, and North Carolina snaps a 4-game losing streak. Larry Fedora told us yesterday his team just needs to get going. He saw some signs in the loss to Notre Dame last week, and this was an absolute thriller. Both teams offensively were superb. but North Carolina prevails 48-43, and UNC not only snaps their 4-game losing streak, the Tar Heels get their first conference win of the season. And if the ACC Coastal was crazy before the day started, it's even more chaotic now.
And the reality is there really isn't a favorite in that group. It's whoever gets hot right now.
Let's go down to Cara Capuano with Coach Fedora.
Coach, you look at all the points on the board, the offense from both teams. What ultimately won this game for North Carolina?
Well, we made a stop when we needed to make a stop. That was the biggest thing. It's not how many points we score, it's how many their team scores. So our defense stepped up and stopped them when it needed to.
You told us yesterday you wanted to see this team turn a corner. What did they show you tonight?
Well, that they're going to keep fighting. They're not going to give up. They're going to keep practicing hard. They got great attitudes, and they're believing in each other. So that's all we need.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Anish?
North Carolina with its first ACC win of the season. The Tar Heels snap a 5-game losing streak against Georgia Tech. And remember, UNC last year finished the season 6-1. Larry Fedora hoping a win can springboard North Carolina for the second half of the 2014 season. Our final score from Chapel Hill. UNC wins a thriller, 48-43. Coming up next, it's ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by McDonald's. MEAC action, Hampton and Norfolk State. But first, the studio and Brendan Fitzgerald.